In 2010, she decided to leave for the Netherlands in search of her own identity. But after living there for 5 years, she discovered that her identity was tied to her motherland. Today on this show, we're bringing you the story of Sanau Narasha, who is using what she had learned, the knowledge and skill, and she's applying them in our education system. Welcome to the show.
Students should have a voice. Students should be able to express themselves and the things that they feel. Empower them to think. You'd be surprised. These kids have a lot of solutions in their heads. So this question that we normally ask kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? We used to ask them, what problem do you want to solve?
Sanau Narasha is the first ever commercial director at Makini Group of Schools. Her journey, however, is one of humble beginnings. Narasha grew up in Narok County. She attended St. Peter's Academy, and being a hard-working student, she emerged as the second best girl in her district during the 2002 KCPE exams and was called to join Mary Hill Girls Secondary in Thika.
I was very excited. But when I got there, my experience wasn't necessarily the best. My high school experience wasn't something that I think of fondly because, it was a national school. We were drilled so much. You had to think, follow the crowd and where they're going. Being an individual is different. So that means I had zero research skills.
Unfortunately for Narasha, things grew from bad to worse when she lost her father, who at the time was a single parent following the death of her mother years prior. But a distraught Narasha powered through and in 2006 aced her KCSE exams.
Luckily, I got a family from Ireland that was willing to sponsor me. I didn't know why and I didn't know how, but before I got the sponsors, I remember saying to myself, I need to go away. I want a fresh beginning. So what did I do? I got a map of the world. I placed it in front of me on top of a table. I closed my eyes like this. And I placed a finger and I opened. Okay.
And just like that, in September of 2010, Narasha found herself living in the Netherlands.
So when I got there, you can imagine the learning and the shock. It wasn't as glamorous as I thought, and it was extremely cold. I went in September, bang in the beginning of winter. Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible. But I must commend the Dutch people for their friendliness. In all of the European countries I traveled to, the Dutch are very friendly. They were very kind. The moment a Dutch person speaks to you and they realize you don't understand Dutch, they immediately switch to English.
This hospitality made it easier for Narasha to assimilate to life in the Netherlands, especially when she joined the Hansa University of Applied Sciences for her undergraduate course in International Communications and Marketing with a major in Public Affairs.
They gave us a chance to try out everything we learned in class. I think one of the things that is outstanding about the Dutch is their education system. It's awesome. They find students that are good in different things and they nurture that. In the Netherlands, you'll find that someone who's working outside as a gardener or what do they call them? Landscaper? Yeah, landscaper. Yes, these people who work outside, some of them even earn more than the people who work in offices. They've completely demystified that idea that if you're making money, you need to be walking around in a suit and tie.
This revelation by Narasha ushers us into our Miles Away segment, where we will learn more about the Dutch culture.
Today on Miles Away, we look at the city of Amsterdam. Regarded as the capital of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, according to the country's constitution, the city has a population of about 800,000 people, making it the most populous city in the country. Amsterdam is known for its historic buildings and canals. The city is indeed a tourist's paradise. While there, one can't fail to notice the number of people on bicycles. This is deeply rooted in Dutch culture. Similar to Nairobi, Amsterdam is the country's commercial capital. You will find numerous multinational companies and international organizations based in the city. Examples include Nike, Adidas, Bookings.com, Netflix, and Tesla Motors, among others. And that's our miles away. My name is Lavenda Amunga.
Back to Narasha's story. And the young bubbly creative had just relocated to the Netherlands in pursuit of further studies on full scholarship and was excelling in her schooling. But while studying, Narasha faced an unforeseen challenge.
When I went there, my sponsors sponsored me for my first year and I was so excited. This is nice, I'm going to study and things. And then when I was there for a year, they rang me up and they said, we're sorry, we can't continue paying your fees because just things are not looking up like we thought. So of course I didn't know what to do. I went to the dean and I told him, listen, the family that brought me here doesn't have money anymore. Said, bring your transcripts. So in my transcripts for my year one of all the courses we had done, I was a 9.8 average out of 10. He took my hand and he took me to the dean of the university and he said, this girl needs a scholarship.
Despite the scholarship, Narasha still had to look for more funding for her upkeep.
So there's a number of things I did. Number one, Sally and myself. Sally is the lady I was living with. We had a hair salon in the house. So we made hair for African ladies and a barber shop upstairs. Number two, we cooked samosas and Kenyan food and all that, and we sold it during the summer festivals and things like that. There's a time I was a DJ for 6 months.
In no time, she finished her undergraduate studies and immediately enrolled for a master's in international relations with a major in international aid and development. And after finishing, she felt it was time to come home.
I wanted to come back home when I began seeing the gaps of the things that we lack here. I got that drive that said to me I needed to come back home, not even to fix them. You know, I hadn't put myself in that level that, you know, I'm going to go and fix them. I'm going to go and participate in that dialogue and voice the things that I see are missing and how they can be done.
So in September of 2015, Narasha was back in the country, but unlike most returnees, hers was a smooth transition.
So I graduated today, got on a flight tomorrow. I was at work the next day.
Narasha joined Nova Pioneer School before eventually landing in Makini School as the commercial director, a position that is relatively new in the education system.
If you look at the African setting and how we've looked at education and schooling, a lot of it is changing, even in the way the curriculum is. We're going from the old curriculum to the new CBC curriculum. So one of the things that schools are beginning to look at is how it can run as a proper business. As commercial director, my responsibility within Makini is to make sure that we are maximizing all our revenue streams. For instance, our enrollment, the number of students we have, if they're paying school fees and things like that, how we're using our facilities, improving our relationships with all our stakeholders, and basically just taking the brand to the next level.
Even though Narasha never imagined that she would be working at a school, she does admit that this is where she was always meant to be.
I want to see these kids shaping Africa. I want to see these kids doing new things, fresh things. Why are we having our railway lines being built by the Chinese? We have our own engineers. I want to see our own children being leaders, innovators, people directing change and building change and impacting change. Every child is unique and we have a lot of potential in this country. But if we keep forcing our children to do things based on one standard, it's like a tree and we have a fish, an elephant, a monkey, and we want all of them to climb the tree. We're losing some in the process.
For Narasha, this is only the beginning, and in the short time that she has been involved in the school, she has already witnessed tremendous success.
I have boys who have just completed KCSE this past year. Some of them have their own companies. They're waiting to turn 18 and start employing people. Students that have been taken into other institutions for scholarships to try out, they know what they want. You talk to a student and it's beyond what they got in their KCSE exam. They're saying, I want to go to this institution and study this because. They can answer that because. How many of our children can get that because?
It is for this reason that she does not regret coming back home. And as we come to a close of this remarkable story, this is what Narasha has to share on our Diaspora Bite.
We have shame for work as Kenyans, we do. There, they don't have shame for work. Someone can go and work in a cafe and serve you burgers and you'll find me serving you burgers and we laugh and we smile. Hey, how's your day? Yeah, I'm serving you burgers now. We meet up at 6? Cool. We need to expose our children to working early because they begin to understand their relationship with money, right? They begin to understand, how do I make money? How do I save money? How do I use money?
Well, you've had it from Sanau herself. The key is in shaping the young minds of the continent in order to achieve success. That is all we had for you today. Be sure to tune in next Saturday for more of this amazing inspirational Chams media production. Till then, my name is Michael Zimaji.